Good afternoon. After 12. Hello, Facebook family. Mr. Dow. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I just stopped for a few seconds. I know I'm usually at home or sitting at my desk, but I just wanted to just say a brief word real quick. I want to aim it toward the young men. If you read the caption, the title of it is The First Place to Look for Every Last Thing. Then you hear the song, Jesus Will, because that's who I count on. If you're not, let me do a couple captions. If you don't believe that Jesus Christ is the ultimate answer, you might as well leave now, because that's what I'm going to promote. If you're sitting here feeling like you've tried Jesus and it don't work for you, you might want to stick around. You might find out something. And like I said, this ain't going to be long. But I have to read some word. I got to read some word. So, Psalms 27. You don't have to go there right now. You can go back and look at it. But I'm about to read Psalms 27. I'm only going to read the first and the second verse. And then I'm going to say what God got on my mind and on my heart. The Lord is my light, my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? When the wicked, even mine enemies and my foes, came up against me to eat up my flesh, they stumbled and fell. That's all I'm going to read. That's all I'm going to read. I want you to understand why I trust Jesus so much with my situation. And the reason I said I'm aiming it at the young men, because the adversary has been disrupting families and trying to prevent you from having a family for years. He's always attacked that. I know in my family, a lot of the men, we yearn to have a family. We want that bond. We want that closeness. But I looked at this thing from my grandfather to my father to myself to some of my sons. We struggle to have a family. My brothers, it's like the adversary. But what I want to say is, it's not just us. This struggle didn't start with us. It started with God our Father. This adversary has been trying to interrupt God the Father from the beginning. When he interrupted Adam and Eve, and I'm just going to say it, there were people here before Adam and Eve. So I am aware of that. But I won't go into it on this live. But there were people here. And my point proven is when he says to them, he spoke that they would replenish the earth. To replenish means somebody was here before. So there's your proof without even arguing. When you go to the grocery store, you're trying to replenish the food that you already had in there, okay? What happened to the people that was here? Look up a subject called the flood of Lucifer. Yeah, there was a flood that took place with Noah, but it was nothing like the flood of Lucifer. The flood of Lucifer destroyed everything. Every living thing, everything. And there's a reason why, but I won't go into it on this live. So, in Genesis, when it says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth, in that small space, it's about 6,000 years. But I won't go into it on this live. That is another issue. But what I want to do is just encourage some of the young men not to give up. When it comes to your family, you got young men that trying to start a family, either with or without guidance. You know, it's a lot of information we miss out on. The men aren't around to talk to us, to teach us. The women from the beginning. I mean, they have examples, they practice, they're ahead of us on things. But us as men, we need to deal with this. I'm 50 years old now. There are things that I'm learning now at the age of 50 I had no clue of. I had all my children, married, and was absolutely clueless. And if it wasn't for Jesus Christ, only heaven knows where I would be or what I would have done. So, and to prove my point, let's go with the idea of having a family. Let's go with the idea of having a family. Did you know that God the Father had a bride? God the Father had a bride. Yes, he did. His bride was the children of Israel. Now, how do I know that? Well, when you study the book of Hosea, you'll find that he tells Hosea to go marry Gomer. And once he marries Gomer, she goes out and has a few children. One of them was named Naomi, which means not my child. You find that he had to go buy his wife back. She was out there with all kind of whoredom. And God told him, he says, now you see how I feel when my bride goes whoring after other gods. So God understood what he was dealing with because he was dealing with it. So you can't very well say what you're going to say if you don't know what you're talking about. So God knows what it's like to have somebody interrupt his family. He sent prophets to go talk to his children, even up until this day. So he knows about that. Well, God the Father had a child with his bride, and his name was Emmanuel, which is Jesus. That's right. And so now you have Jesus who has a bride, which is the church. Okay, so if Jesus is the groom and the church is the bride, where are the children? You can't say the church members because they're the bride. You can't be the children and the bride too. Make your mind up. Which one you're going to be? The children are the lost souls that's out here in the world that have to be born again through the church. And the church, the world would have you to think it is barren. Barren is a word that's used when a woman was married and in the first, say, 3 to 5 years, she didn't give a child. They classified her as barren. I talked about it on the live before. You get saved, you get filled with the Holy Ghost, and you can't help nobody else get it. You're not being productive. So our churches are trying to be portrayed as being barren, not able to produce itself. They're trying to steal the life of the church away. And that ain't cool. They want people to think that the gospel is unproductive. They want people to think that you can't get anything. But Jesus is where I go for every last thing. I need him to help me with his example of a husband. I need him to help me with his example as a father. I need him to help me with his example as one who's caring. I need him to help me to show me how to use my strength. I need him to show me how to use wisdom. He's my complete answer for everything. And I have this knowledge. But it's only when I put it into motion that it becomes wisdom. So what's the purpose for this live this morning? It's to encourage some young men that when you get in a tight situation, that when it get crazy, that when it looks like what's really going on, don't beat yourself down. Because a lot of us didn't have the training that other ones had. A lot of us, we don't have that father, that uncle, that grandfather, that friend that we can call to ask him what to do. Give yourself a chance. And if you came up like I did, I made a lot of mistakes because I was looking at a lot of the wrong examples. I mean, let's do a plain example. Every man that I have ever seen, he had kids with the woman he was with, and he had kids outside. I'm telling you, I'm watching this. We as young men, we're looking to see to what kind of man we want to be. And so I saw nothing wrong with having kids with my wife, and every other man I know had kids outside his family, but I never knew their story. It wasn't until I messed around and got a woman pregnant, and now I got a child outside of my marriage, that when all hell broke loose then. I found out that wasn't a good idea. But there was nobody to tell me, son, you don't do that. There was nobody to tell me, if you're not going to be true to this woman, don't marry this woman. There was nobody to tell me, if you get a woman's heart, she don't play with it. There was nobody to tell me these things. It wasn't that I was playing with them. I was just trying to figure the game out on the job training. And I felt like if I lose this job, I can go get another job. And that's the wrong attitude when it comes to a family. But nobody taught me that. Nobody told me that. Nobody told me that when a woman devotes her heart and her time to you, that's the most precious thing she got. Nobody told me these things. So I didn't have a real good value for them. I had to go back to my wife, my ex-wife. I had to go back and apologize to her and tell her, you know what? It wasn't that she was a bad person. I was just, and I wasn't being mean and nasty to you, but I'd done the things I'd done out of ignorance. And I apologize. I own it. I was ignorant. I didn't know. Now, don't get me wrong. You ain't perfectly innocent in this situation. And my concern ain't your problem. My concern is my role that I played. As a man, you own what you do. As a man, you admit what you do. As a man, there's some things you got to stand up. Be a man. I don't whine and complain. Everything didn't go perfect in life. But as men, we need men to look us in our face and tell us, be a man. If you did it, admit to it. If you don't want to live up to it, then don't do it. We learned those rules in the streets, but nobody taught us outside the streets. I learned that in the game, you're going to pay dues. It's going to be your money, your time, or your life. Okay, that's part of the rules of the game. I took losses. Then got robbed. The whole thing, but I stuck in the game because I was trying to be true to the game. Okay, why didn't I apply that to when I was married? Nobody told me. You're going to have good days and bad days in your marriage. You're going to have good days and bad days. Okay? I know that now. Do that mean I keep it to myself and I don't tell another young man? Nah, God forbid that. Thus, the purpose for the conversation today. That's why I'm talking right now. Because somebody needs to know the hell that you're catching, son, somebody else caught the same hell before you, and they're going to catch hell after you. So keep your head up. Pay attention. It's never too late for a first time. You hear what I said? It's never too late to get it right the first time. You just got to pay attention. Keep living. You'll find that right one. Work it out. If you're already in a situation, pay attention to the role you playing. Build one another. Work on one another. Don't. And some of this, I'm a player. I run game. That's so stupid. If you got time to play like that, if somebody convince you young enough to keep playing with people's lives and hearts and things, somebody giving you the wrong advice. It ain't a time to play right now. It's sad it took me till I got to be in my late 40s, 50 to find out it ain't playtime. I'm living. I have fun. Lord say the same. I'm going skating tonight, and I plan on having a ball. But playing with people's lives and no. As men, we got to grow up. Be responsible. Don't get in somebody's life and tear it up. Don't experiment with somebody's life. If you're going to do something, be honest. Tell them, I don't know. I just don't know. You'd be surprised at how a woman will respect you if you just tell her the truth. I really don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. And if you don't have the time and the patience for me to figure it out, I might not be the guy for you. But I'm trying to figure some things out. And I'm going to make some mistakes. I'm going to get on your nerves. I'm going to frustrate you because I'm frustrated with what I'm trying to do. That's just the way that it is. All right, Baker. I think I done said enough. I think I done said enough for right now. Have a good day. Enjoy your day. Trust God. I just pulled over to the side of the road to make this live. I need to go get me something to eat. Hey, remember something. When you praying, pray for somebody else. Not just yourself, not just your family. Pray for somebody else's family. Because it may be their turn today, but whose will it be tomorrow? God bless you. Oh man, it's the right song. Hallelujah. Thank you. All right, I got to go because I get caught up right here. Have a blessed day.